My wife and I are doing the best we can to isolate, to wash our hands thoroughly several times during the day. And we are trying to do this social distancing thing, keeping 6 feet apart from everybody. We want to help stop the spread of this global pandemic that we're in the middle of. We're staying at our lake house right now. And very early this morning, when I got up, I read something by Paul Tripp. He does a Wednesday's Word I get by email each week. Rodney often mentions Paul Tripp as one of the writers that kind of inspires him, same with me. And in this brief message by Paul Tripp, he gives us some suggestions that we will not let our anxiety become bigger and bigger and let God become smaller and smaller as we deal with this pandemic. He reminds us that the result of fear can make us paralyzed. We get panic-stricken. We have anxiety. So he suggests a couple of things that we do to avoid that. First thing he suggests is that we are thankful. We have an attitude of gratitude. We look vertically to God and give thanks for who God is, meditate on His holiness, live in awe of His justice, thank Him for His patience, His love, His mercy, and His grace. One of my favorite scripture verses is found in Hosea. We have this verse, Hosea 6, posted over our door that goes out to the lake. And it reads like this in the New Living Translation. Oh, that we might know the Lord. Let us press on to know Him. He will respond to us as surely as the arrival of dawn or the coming of rain in the spring. Hosea was a preacher, and he's a prophet who lived in a time when religious folks really didn't want to hear his message. The Israelites were more interested in worshiping idols than in worshiping Jehovah. They were prone to leave the God they loved. There's a song, prone to wander, prone to leave the God I love. The book of Hosea is a love story. It's real, it's tragic, it's true. The book tells of God's love of His people. And in this book, God tells Hosea to find a wife named Gomer who would actually be unfaithful to him. But he should marry her anyway. Hosea was told ahead of time that she would bear many children, and he would not be the father of all those children. It all happens as he's told, and Hosea is very broken. Later in the book, God tells Hosea to go to the slave auction and buy his wife, who is up for sale, back. Now, this is his wife, but he does. He buys her back. Hosea and Gomer's story is a story of God and Israel. It is also our story. We, like Gomer, were enslaved. God bought us back. We found ourselves stuck in chains that we never intended to be. Chains of insecurity, chains of discontentment, chains of fear, but God freed us. Gomer did not deserve to be redeemed. Her behavior did not merit such mercy. Israel also did not deserve God's faithful mercy. You and I do not deserve salvation. Yet God's message to us tenderly is this: come home. My love sets you free. When you get tired of striving and wandering, I'll be there to draw you to myself again. Oh, that we might know the Lord. Let us press on to know Him. He will respond to us as surely as the arrival of dawn or the coming of rains in early spring. Remember today that God's grace abounds. Acknowledge it. The second thing that Paul Tripp suggests after we look vertically and see God's grace is that we look horizontally. Specifically, look at people, places, things that God has placed in your life. Even during this time of social distancing, you're surrounded by people who know you, who love you. They text you, they call you, you might FaceTime them. Thank God for the people He's placed in your life. Yesterday, Brenda and I connected through FaceTime with a relative. I've not talked to her in 5 years. Had it not been for this event, I probably wouldn't have talked to her yesterday. Thank God also for places in your life. Maybe it's a local park where you walk. Perhaps it's the neighborhood store that has food and daily necessities that you've been able to access. Give thanks for your home, where you live, where you're safe, where you sleep, where you exercise. Pray for each specific room in your home. And then give thanks to God for things in your life. Have you taken for granted this technology that lets us even flow to each other through phone calls, through books, through movies, through toys that your family can use as entertainment and leisure? Tripp suggests that we might even want to inventory with gratitude the plates and cups in our home that we use every day. Be thankful for these things that God has granted you to use. I encourage you to be sobered by what our country is going through right now. I pray that you'll make the most of it. Find joy in the things that you can find joy. And let's trust in the Lord to be with us through it all. Some of us have more time now to meditate on His Word. We have more time to pray than maybe we've had in years. My prayer for you is like Hosea's. Oh, that we might know the Lord. Let us press on to know Him. He will respond to us as surely as arrival of dawn or the coming of rains in early spring. I pray that you have a blessed day.